Actually, I want to rant on a little bit about a movie I just viewed online called The End of Poverty, Think Again. It was in the Cannes Festival 2008, 2009, something like that. A documentary, bottom line, it describes, it goes through an historical discussion of capitalism and exploitation around the world. I'm not going to go into description of the entire movie. It was an hour 40 long. Um, but certainly the conclusions are quite sobering and something I've thought for quite a while now. Um, and the conclusion is based on the issue of the overconsumptive ways of the West. And one of the narrators makes a stark contrast between, he says, if everyone on the planet lived as Americans do, we'd need 6 planets to sustain us. Whereas if everyone on the planet lived as the people in Burkina Faso do, we would only need a tenth of the planet. Basically contrasting the most highly consumptive with the least consumptive societies. But that's not to say we all want to live like those in Burkina Faso. It seems like they don't do very well there. But it clearly puts in perspective one of the biggest issues we have is the overconsumption, how we teach overconsumption, how we teach our children, our society is based on the assumption that it's right to continue to find more to consume. Throughput of resources, and we are constantly not satisfied. Uh, we have a shopping mentality which is grotesque. It's absurd. And, it shines a light on my own. And I'm speaking for myself as well as pointing fingers here. You can see behind me. I mean, there's, you know, I don't know how many cameras. I'm talking to a camera. There's another camera back there. I've got another camera right here that I mount on a bicycle that was imported from Taiwan that I get to use whenever I want. And I've got this lovely computer stuff. I've got a home that I live in on my own. And it just goes, the list is nauseating, truly nauseating. The extent to which I'm so used to having whatever I want whenever I want it. And that being said, I'm thought of to be kind of bizarre in the extreme. I minimize I have very little income. I survive on less than $30,000 a year, which I realize is nothing like surviving on $1 a day. But uh, that's what and I wouldn't call it survival. I feel quite wealthy, being able to maintain to me, what feels like a great standard of living on less than $30,000 a year here in Canada. So it's so many people. We define poverty in terms of money as opposed to other more important means of describing it, I guess. To me, wealth is about your relationships, it's about your health, and I'm incredibly wealthy that way as well. I'm very fortunate to be almost 60 and to have decent health, and I have an education, and I have the opportunity to further my education. I have freedom to speak freely, and I live in a safe part of the world. Um, I don't feel particularly subject to oppression and all of that. So I'm incredibly wealthy. Yet what I'm saddened to see how many unhappy people there are around me, um, and so many people who are caught on a wheel of defining their happiness by the quantity of what they consume, the size of their house, the size of their garden, whether they have a new car every whatever, whether they have a car, um, and we consume far too much, way beyond our fair share in any reasonable form of fair share. Um, I'm saying I consume far more beyond my fair share, and then I look around me and see what most people aspire to, and it's astounding. I just got to stand out here on the Vanier Parkway behind me, see all these people driving up and down in these vehicles that it's It's ridiculous what we aspire to do here. It's shameful. I could rant. I don't need. I don't think I need to say any more at this point. I'm just astounded at how we define happiness here. It's bizarre. On this note, I'm just going to grab it over here. I've got I just got from the library this book, Spirit Level. Just got into the the opening few pages. Heard a lot about it. It's about, the title here says, Why Greater Equality Makes Society Stronger. And of course, the converse of that being how increased inequality weakens a society. And I certainly understand that. Weakens it in all kinds of ways. From what I can gather, some of the places that have, where they measure happiness, it's got nothing to do with how much throughput they have in their economy. It's all to do with the equality within that society. Costa Rica apparently being one of the, I think Nepal, another, where people are as happy, if not happier, than they are in the United States. And the United States is a land of great disparity and increasing unhappiness and despair. Yet we continue to pursue the growth and we got to consume more, we got to have more, not less. And one other part of this rant, I guess, is on that issue when we have quote-unquote anti-poverty workers, people that are so committed, and I don't doubt their commitment here in our society, here in Ottawa. I don't doubt their commitment. But it does concern me that they focus on money as being the issue of poverty. And to me, it's got very little to do with money. What it has to do with is disparity within, and that by focusing on money, then we're actually promoting an emptiness of being. We're promoting an aspiration towards getting more money as opposed to improving the quality of our life with respect to genuine happiness, which is all about relationships and health and education. Money has something to do with it. There's a certain level of income or a certain level of access to money that does make a difference. But that's for the basic needs. And beyond that, it really is a law of diminishing returns. But if you continue to only focus on money, then people then begin to believe that's all that's really important. And once the basic needs are met, it very quickly falls to the wayside of what is important. So we're teaching the wrong thing with respect to work on anti-poverty. Anyway, that's my little Sunday afternoon rant. I was quite struck by this movie, and I would encourage people to see it. The End of Poverty? Think again.